This is my 65 Fastback, AKA the Gray Ghost. And we are finally about to put the engine back in this, but not the same engine that came out of it. So it's still a 347, but guys, we got some compression, some quench, a bigger cam, some limited travel lifters, and some other goodies as well. Papa T's gonna come over and we're gonna spend some time together hanging out and put this thing together, and hopefully at some point this weekend we'll drive this thing again. It has been since I think November or October or something like that since we've driven the car. It's been down ever since, but we waited because we had some upgrades that we wanted to do this thing. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're not gonna go crazy on this, okay? We are literally just trying to clean everything up, get the grease off, mainly from down here at the bottom. And then we're just gonna dust some black spray paint over everything. I say let's go ahead and pull the cover off this engine and see what we got, because this will be y'all's first time really seeing this. So let me get you set up over here. We'll pull this thing out in the middle of the floor and get Papa T's reaction to it too, because he hadn't really, you only saw what, one piston? Mm-hmm. Yep. So first, before we open this thing up, let me talk about what this is. This is a Dart SHP block. It's 347 stroker with H-beam rods. It's a DSS kit, zero balanced. Let's go ahead and rip it open. We got some more goodies that'll be here today. They're on the way to really make this thing spin up. And we're gonna take a little bit of time today and talk about that, what it takes to make power, because you can have a 347, right, that makes, you know, 300 horsepower, or you can have a 347 that makes 500 horsepower. And today we're going to talk about kind of what it takes to do that, right? One of the first things is going to be zero deck. This engine, the block itself is not zeroed out, but the piston is a little taller to kind of compensate for that. Basically, zero deck is going to give you a quench that you control with your head gasket. So when you put your head gasket on there, you're going to get your quench you want. If you're zeroed out and you put a 40 thousandths head gasket, you're gonna have 40 thousandths of quench. These are custom pistons from DSS. They machined these for us, and they got just a little knot on them right here, as you can see. And that's enough for us with the heads that we have to get 11.5 to 1. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you know, what about detonation? You know, don't you have to worry about that? Yeah, you have to worry about that. We're gonna run 93 in it, of course. But also the quench is really tight, and the quench is going to keep you from having all that knock and ping and detonation and things like that. It helps with it anyway, because all those bad gases, those unburnt gases right up here underneath the head, they get caught up, and if you got tight quench, it'll squeeze that out before the piston gets to the top, and it'll burn it right here in the center where it needs to be. Here's a good look at the bottom end before we seal this thing up. I know everybody's going to probably have questions, you know, what is what, and what's it look like, and this and that, what oil pump. So this is a standard volume oil pump. This is Canton's own pickup tube here. Everything is ARP bolts, not that it really matters, but you know, if you can swing it, put the ARP stuff in it. If not, your standard bolts for all this type stuff right here will work just fine. I don't want to sit here and act like you got to have all this. Now, you know, if you're going to be spinning a car really high, which this one's probably going to be 75, 7600 RPM car. You want to make sure you got some good rod bolts, and you know, the internals are good. As far as stuff like this for your oil pump, you can use your standard stuff. That's fine. Papa T, what you think?
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. This honestly is realistically about as far as you want to take one outside of like really high compression, 363. Other than that, guys, maybe a solid roller, which is pretty much going to be a solid roller, because I think we just got some parts shipped, and I'll show you that in just a second. But like, it's going to be crazy, y'all. Hear me out. This is going to be about as rowdy as you want to get on the street and still drive it. Well, we hope we can drive it. May have to change the cam out later if it's too rowdy. I don't know. We'll just have to see. You remember when I talked about having some good parts to be able to turn this thing up? Well, here they are. What we have here are a set of limited travel Morell lifters. These are some bad boys. This is what we put in Berger's car, and we were super impressed with them. So we're gonna give it a go in the 65. And essentially, if you're wondering what limited travel lifters are, I'm no engine expert, but basically a normal lifter, let's say, has that much travel, right? That's normal lifter. These lifters only have about that much travel. See the difference? And then they go solid. Full travel hydraulic lifters, 40 to 60 thousandths. Limited travel are 10 to 15 thousandths, y'all. Donnie B at Anderson Ford Motorsport can get Cometic as well. Guys, we got 40 thousandths thickness head gaskets here. You guys use whatever lube you want to use. Me personally, I'm using this zinc additive here as my lubricant. There again, you know, a lot of people like to use assembly lube on this. I don't want to do that. I'm good with this, okay? And there's nothing to it, right? Drop these things in. We will prime the engine before we start it. Just in case anybody's wondering, we are running the Anderson N111 camshaft. Everybody's got their little procedure that they do. That's mine. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the heads on this thing, and then we'll start checking for push rod length. We're using Muscle Magic, as I showed you before. This stuff works really good. Just look at this, y'all. Now this won't get everything off, but watch how it breaks this stuff up. See all the little particles floating around? All right, so we use Muscle Magic first, which is a degreaser. And then I just come in, agitate it a little bit. There'll be some carbon left on here. I'm not too worried about that. Hopefully this engine runs clean enough we can burn that off. We'll see. Agitate it a little bit, and most of the time this will come on off with the pressure washer. The majority of it will anyway. Look at that. This is wire wheel cleaner from Superior Products. We're gonna coat this thing down with it real good, and that's gonna really go in and get the head clean. It will not clean grease. This is a very acidic cleaner, so this is not alkaline, meaning that it will not eat through grease. But what it will do is break up all these deposits. It'll help a lot with that. Now look, this isn't gonna be some magic product that absolutely knocks everything off. I'm not saying that. But this is just my technique that I use that works really damn good. And in the meantime, I want to talk about something because I just posted my video on Berger's car talking about the Terminator X. I want to clarify, because I've had several people already comment about it, that Thunderhead 289 has, what does he call it? I forgot what he calls it. You guys know what I'm talking about. A kit basically that helps you tune your carburetor for your car. Guys, I am not knocking what he does. He's extremely smart. I like that dude a lot. This is not that. The Terminator X on the car that we've been talking about, and this car also has a Terminator X in it as well, by the way, the 65. Terminator X's are not the carb cheater. That's what it is. They're not carb cheaters. That's not what this is. It's not even close to the same thing. Also, I had somebody comment and say that you don't need to run MSD with Terminator X. We know, guys, we know that. But there again, if you have a YouTube channel, you have to mention everything, because if you leave one stone unturned and don't mention it, everybody blasts you in the comment section. So no, we're aware that you don't have to run an MSD. We choose to run an MSD just for more fire, and it does help. It's always off when you do it that way, when you try to roll it. By the way, the push rod length was the exact same as what it was with hydraulic lifters. That's crazy. So that worked out really good. I actually had to cancel my order that I already had with Anderson Ford Motorsport because we ordered some, and we forgot to check the ones that we had. They're good. So the only thing left to do now is go ahead and get the headers on, but right now Seth is porting the headers. So we're gonna go back here and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about with this. There's usually always some weld that can be cleaned up in the tube of your headers.
Yeah, it's getting there. We're starting to get it. This that home porting job right here.
Yeah.
That's your buddy. I can port that for you. Give me 20 bucks in case of beer.
Yeah, that's Seth. Yeah. But all he's doing is just cleaning. There's welds in the corners and stuff. And you don't want to go too far with it, but what he's doing right here is perfect. Because that'll open these headers on up. Pretty good bit, y'all. I've had a long day of just crap. You know how it goes. Got the Canton oil pan on. Everything fit pretty good with that. The pan really didn't want to bolt down. Finally got it. The engine has been primed, so we have oil pressure. We'll be setting this thing down here pretty soon. Berger says take them off before they fall off.
Like
okay, we'll do that. So with this car, you have to put the headers on as the engine goes down. It's super fun.
We'll see if it'll just fit first.
Sure. Make sure we got the motor mounts on right.
Slow down.
Whoa.
Alright, come down.
Can't.
Yeah, I can't. I'm on a bouncer.
You're going to have to really tip this thing then, because your fuel assembly gets in the way. We'll have the bell housing.
Oh yeah. Rather than setting the engine down and risking bending the oil pan, we'll just take the bell housing off. Well guys, check it out. We are in a different location. That's right. 65 is now over here on the lift side. I apologize. We ran out of memory and like halfway through getting the headers on and it was just headers. And then we just dropped the engine in. So we want to talk real quick. As you can see, we got the engine where it'll turn over. We got the transmission in it as well. These are limited travel lifters. These are the Morells. Pick these up from Anderson Ford Motorsports. This is how much travel you have from zero. See, that's zero. Watch. That's it before they bottom out. If you turn them that much and they lock out, you want to go back to zero, turn them about that much. You just want to get a little bit of preload on them. From what we've seen so far, you don't have to be super precise with it, but you need to go in between. And that's actually what the instruction sheet says. It's like 15 thousandths or something like that is what they want you to go. So that's how we're setting these things up. And remember, we're doing this the same exact way that we always set valves, which is we bump it around until it's on base of the cam. It means there's, the rocker's not on a lobe and trying to open. And you just set it. So Berger's going to show you right here.
Always go around.
Yeah. All right, see it's moving, so he's got to wait. All right, stopped. As soon as it stops, he's
on
good
base.
to go. Yep, that's on base.
Go to zero.
You can almost do it by hand.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so he's going to kind of line it up at the top there, and then he'll know about
eighth of a turn.
about like that, 1/8 of a turn, so, and lock it down, y'all. Well, we went ahead and stuck with it, and pretty much got this thing done. Hopefully it'll start up. I don't know. Very first start.
That cam's gonna hit.
Yeah, that thing's gonna hit good once we get the timing all set. That Canton oil pan's looking good down there, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, sure.
Well, there she is. All right, this will be his first time moving. Honestly, it doesn't sound crazy different to me with the higher compression, limited travel, and the camshaft. I thought it would probably hit a little harder, but also we've not set timing on it as well. Well, I have set timing, but I don't know where the map is. So we're gonna play around with that because I'm a cam guy. I like the sound of a good camshaft, so we're gonna mess around with that a little bit. But guys, that's it. This car is back going. There's no leaks, no drips, no noises, nothing. It was a hell of a day. I'll say that, a hell of a day. We did this in about 12 hours. From start to finish, but she is back on the road again. Only thing is the clutch. I don't know how that's going to work out. Papa T's have both knees replaced, and he can't really do a heavy clutch, so I may have to get a different clutch setup for the car. It's got a Vengeance twin disc in it, so I may get up with handling and see if we can't come up with a lighter clutch combo, because we're not going to be drag racing this car, you know. Anyway, y'all, that's it. Remember, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Sometimes it's worth a day in hell for a lifetime of memories. That's exactly what we did yesterday. It was a day in hell, but it's going to be worth it. We're going to have all these memories, right? And it's over with. Look, we even straightened the shop up, kind of, other than some beer boxes. Look at that. Kind of straighten it up a little bit at 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I'll keep you guys updated on the 65. We'll go for our first drive. Here in a few minutes, I'll go ahead and record that. We'll include that in the next video. And as always, thanks for watching. So this is actually another car that we have that's controlled with a Terminator X. As you can see, the Terminator X screen right here. And it controls everything else just like it would if it was an EFI car, right? So it can control your fans, it can control your timing, pretty much anything except for fuel. That's right, you guessed right, fuel. So as you can see, we got our oil pressure. There's our timing. So it's bouncing between 32 and 35. First gear. Second gear. See, it's got a little buck to it, right? Well, look at that, it clears right up.